Tough to decide, and other real-life quotes. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. Tadej Pogačar has been publicly, pretty non-committal. As Domestique Cycling reported on July 26, 2025, Pogačar said, quote, "It's going to be tough to decide. Of course, I would like to go to the Vuelta. Every year I do the Tour, and I would like to do the Vuelta one day also. So we will see." That's exact quote. Meanwhile, his team boss, Mauro Gianetti of Team UAE, was even more casually vague. Quote, "The Vuelta is on his program. Let's see what happens after or at the Tour." In a corporate speak echo chamber, that basically means, maybe we'll let him, maybe we won't. From Escape Collective on July 12, 2025 came another real gem. Quote, "La Vuelta is on my calendar and I should be able to do it, but I have to consider whether I want to spend another month away from home." The man who supposedly aspires to win cycling's greatest trophies is factoring in family time. Cue the gasps. I bet Trine Vingegaard's getting jealous. And that's not all. Javier Gollan, director of the Vuelta, had hyped expectations in late 2024. It was crazy. So already we have 4 real quotes, 2 from Pogačar himself, 2 from UAE, and they're all proper sourced. If you ask for exactly this, then you got it. But let's go over some actual reasons why we think Tadej has dropped out of the Vuelta. Reason number 1. Fatigue from the Tour de France. Duh. Let's talk fatigue. Pogačar again has just dominated the Tour de France in such a way that even his rivals winced. Stage 12's contest on Hautacam, for example, saw him launch a devastating solo attack, putting 2 minutes and 10 seconds into Vingegaard. The yellow jersey margin ended at 3 minutes and 31 seconds. That's powerful, but exhausting. He himself described the ride as being at his peak. Only a few stages later, stage 19, at just 93 kilometers owing to a local cattle disease, he looked physically drained. And the image of him on the podium reinforced doubts about his reserves. Quote, "Even leaders like Pogačar can show vulnerability on demanding terrain." Given that depreciation, absence from the Vuelta makes sense. 6 weeks in the Tour plus recovery time is already a lot. The pattern is inconsistent. He's, quote, "never lined up at a stage race after riding the Tour, per Domestique. Checking out means not racing right after the Tour." So reason 1, fatigue, and tiredness from the Tour itself. He's physically spent and wants to avoid collapsing mid-Spanish mountains. Reason 2, preparing instead for the World Championships in Rwanda, the Vuelta Championships. Second reason, instead of wasting legs in Spain, he's using fall to prime the World Championships road race in Kigali, Rwanda. After all, 2024 ended with him winning the Worlds and completing the Triple Crown, Giro, Tour and Worlds, a feat shared only with Merckx and Roche. UAE has signalled that their star will target not only Tour and possibly Vuelta, but also defending that rainbow jersey on a terrain made for climbers. Participating in Vuelta or even riding it would likely compromise his Cancun Rwanda program. Cycling Up to Date confirmed that he, quote, also has his eye on defending his rainbow jersey at the World Championships in Rwanda after the Tour/Vuelta campaign. So reason 2, strategic preparation for World Champs. Skip Vuelta, spend time fresh and tailored to track form in Rwanda. Reason 3, team policy. Limit his racing load over racing earlier in the season. This is where things get managerial. UAE learned early in the 2025 season that Tadej has raced too much too soon. He started strong with wins at Classics, La Flèche Wallonne, Liège-Bastogne-Liège, UAE Tour initial stages, etc., presumably building up fatigue before the Tour. From 2025 they adopted a policy, no more riding just for the sake of racing. The result, UAE confirmed that he would skip the Giro d'Italia entirely. Quote, Tadej Pogačar won't return to the Giro d'Italia in 2025. UAE Emirates XRG team principal Mario Gianetti told El Quip. He will focus on his Grand Tour season of winning a 4th Tour de France. They're double downing on focus. Now that the tour is done, they are applying similar strict self-management and rest. They told Domestique that decision on Vuelta will come after the tour, when the team can evaluate fatigue and schedule. And according to my sources here at Cycling 101, he has decided to miss the Vuelta a España. Hence reason 3 being the team policy reacting to his over-racing earlier in the season. They want fresh legs for late season, so they're deliberately under-racing him post-tour. Reason 4. Guardians against burnout. Lifetime mileage management. Add a 4th factor, long-term endurance and longevity. Pogačar's management clearly has mileage goals. Running him through Tour, Vuelta, Worlds, Classiques, etc. risks burnout. Far better to prioritise the pinnacle events. Also, UAE has a policy limiting Grand Tour entries per season for under 25 riders, e.g. Juan Ayuso and Isaac Del Toro are limited to 1 Grand Tour annually, but not overloading Pogačar. They preserve his ability to perform in future seasons. So reason 4, burnout, avoidance, and managing career longevity. Skip the 2nd Grand Tour of the season to avoid overexposure. Reason 5, possibly rivalry avoidance, Jonas Vingegaard at Vuelta. We arrive at the spicy stuff. Is Pogačar or his team trying to avoid Jonas Vingegaard at La Vuelta? It's speculation territory, but with plausible basis. Jonas Vingegaard has publicly confirmed he will ride the Vuelta in 2025. Quote, Jonas Vingegaard sí ha confirmado su participación en la Vuelta desde comienzo a. I butchered that, guys, but I don't speak that language. If Pogačar also lines up, they could end up battling GC again in another Grand Tour this same season. That could risk his fatigue, tactics, almost unthinkably. The Vingegaard steals the Vuelta victory. UAE might be avoiding that risk. Reddit discussion further notes that UAE might prioritise Pogačar for Tour only, letting Almeida ride the Vuelta. Quote, UAE can't expect 3 riders who all can compete for the podium of a Grand Tour. If they try the Vuelta, UAE could lose because of him. Thus reason 5, avoid direct Vingegaard rematch, plus insurance policy. Let another UAE rider like Al Almeida lead Vuelta instead. Section speculations and online theories. Time to harvest some rumours and online speculations, because what's an analysis piece without a few conspiracies? So, on Reddit, commenters suggested UAE viewed Pogačar as, quote, too greedy, winning, quote, too much, and wanted him to slow down so the team doesn't collapse under his Grand Tour pressure. One word, quote, even Team Visma complained that Poggi is too greedy by winning too much. Another thread speculated that UAE needs domestiques like Yates and Almeida to stay fresher. If Pogačar overcommits to Vuelta, he'd sap resources from Almeida, who might lead in Spain, undercutting his team strategy. That idea echoes the team policies to limit Grand Tour burden per year. Some cycling pundits theorise that maybe UAE simply wants Pogačar to focus on 1 GT per season moving forward. Worlds plus Tour and skip Vuelta to allow other talent like Almeida or Ayuso to develop leadership roles. Observers drew parallels with strategy in 2025 Giro. Pogačar skipped, Almeida never had to defer to his superstar there. Others are quipped that maybe Pogačar is secretly terrified of Vingegaard's late season form, especially after his crash that he had, and all the theories around him not being on peak form for Tour de France. After all, Jonas is already confirmed to Vuelta, and if Pogačar joins, hype demands epic showdown. But UAE might decide it's safer to avoid a rematch while fatigued. These theories, though unconfirmed, flesh out plausible rationale behind the decision to withdraw or simply skip the Vuelta. How UAE learned the lesson from over-racing earlier in 2025. Reviewing their 2025 season to date, Pogačar steamed through spring classics, El Lombardia, Flèche Wallonne, Liège, Bastogne-Liège, before tackling Critérium de Dauphiné, Tour de Suisse, and Tour de France. That calendar was brutal. They paid for it. Pogačar looked drained mid-tour. AS noted, quote, he looked visibly exhausted on the podium during stage 19. And Domestique reports that he's the first in recent years to skip every race post-tour. That pattern shows clear learning. The team intentionally deferred participation in Giro d'Italia, skipping the Giro d'Italia 2025 to focus on Tour, as Gianetti told Velo. UAE seems so adopted a four-phase system. Early spring classics, then the Tour, then reassess, and then the Worlds. Volta might be outside that plan. They learned, if you race too much, performance suffers when it matters most. Thanks for watching today's video. If you're new, please subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all of the latest cycling news, cycling drama, and cycling results. Leave a like on the video and comment down below your opinions as to why you think Tadej has decided to miss the Vuelta a España.